Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another video. Continuing our series, kind of did our breakdown of our mountain bike, as you can see here. And we're going to kind of continue off, kind of stopped it abruptly for our mountain bike build. But got our components in. We are now going to be putting them together. Now, just a little bit of an update. Didn't really give you much. So, we got in our brakes that we're going to be using. So got these on right now. Just kind of mounted them up a little bit, but I'm going to have to be taking them off. So I'll be fiddling with that. But let's start with the basics of the build. So first thing we want to do is, we're not going to be, by the way, just so you know, we're not going to be able to be doing the cranks just yet, or sorry, the cassette just yet, because I have to get that. So we got our bottom bracket, and we have our spacers. So the big question is with this guy is, what size are we for this bottom bracket? So I'm going to grab my tape measure, and we're going to be take a little bit of a measurement right here. Go into a toolbox. Let's see if I have, yeah, we got centimeters and millimeters right here. Let's see here. We got for bottom bracket size. So we're talking about 72 millimeters. I probably need to use our spacers on this. I'm going to open up our piece here for our cranks. See if it gives us any information. It does not look like we're going to get any information on. Nope, just gives us tightening information for our cranks. So that's kind of worthless. But what we got so far, these are the two adjustable cups. And I don't think we'll probably need, I'm not sure if we'll need spacers or not. So typically what you do is you got a spacer per side, like so. Normally that's what you'll do is you take one of the spacers and put it on like that. Sometimes you need a couple spacers. Or you see where the red portion is? Sometimes you gotta do it like that. Typically one side will use two spacers. See the amount of thread size right there? Like so. Sorry. So this side has more thread length than this one does. So typically that's how you put your spacers, is just like that. What you want to do is you want to look at your size. You can see there, it shows you R for right. So obviously this is our right hand side. Tightening. Okay. Mark down. So right like that. So first thing we want to do, I just want to make sure that these are going to fit properly. So get on your gloves, and then I'm going to grab some grease. Grease from this guy. And then your bottom bracket tool that you'll need for this is your Park Tool BBT9, and it also has your bearing set bearing tool here. So one of the first things I do is take this out, set it down, and I'm going to take my cloth right here, my rag, wipe this sucker out. Wipe out the bottom bracket really good, get it nice and clean. Last bottom bracket in there was pretty nasty. And we're going to take our grease here. And I put the grease in the threads inside the bottom of the bottom bracket itself. You can put it on the cups if you want to. That's up to you. The big thing is you're just getting it on the threads. That prevents water and dampness. And getting it inside the bottom bracket itself. So that's really what you're doing by doing this. And you can take your spacers off there. You take a little bit like so. Place them on the bearing itself, the outer part. You know, on the inside of the bearing, as you can see, we got plenty of grease in there. Not worried about the bearing being packed properly. I'm gonna do that. I'm going to place on our spacers. Going to take our bottom bracket tool, place it over, you can see right there, over the adjustable cup. And I'm going to crank down. Now at this point you're not going to have you don't have a torque wrench for this particular tool. If you have the socket tool, you can actually use torquing. But normally it's not too necessary. Tighten up, it should be tight, like so. Okay. Do a little bit more grease, kicker grease. So, not that you have to put that much grease on it, but it's not going to hurt it. And then, as you can see right there, the grease is on the threads. We'll come around the other side. And once again, you're going to tighten. And you're going to go backwards. Okay, because these aren't, if they were Italian, the one side would go this way and the other side would go back. So go the same direction for both of them. Okay. And once again, move off a little bit. Over here. And if you're worried about the bottom bracket tool coming off, I just take my hand and I put it over the bottom bracket tool like so, and I just kind of keep it on the bottom bracket. You can't over push the tool too far over the top of the bottom bracket because there's little notches there. I'm not saying you can't over tighten, that's not what I'm talking about. That should be tight enough. Okay. Now at this point we're going to keep this tool out because, like I said, we got that piece right there. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we're going to install the crank arms. So you have your crank arm here. This is your chain rings and crank arms. And we have a little bit of right here, as you can see, this is the bearing set plug. It's already got its grease on it. We're not going to grease that anymore. We will take a tiny bit of grease and put it on the shaft, and that'll just help it to seal a little bit better. You don't need a lot, just like a amount like that should do it. And I take it and I just spread it over. Now they put some grease on here. And just spread it like so. Now one thing to let you know is if the crank arm is too short, and you just push this in like so. And then it comes out the other end. And let's see here. Let me wipe my hands off. I'll flip the wipe around to show you. Now one thing you can do too is get yourself, make sure you have a rubber mallet. Do not do this with a metal hammer. Get yourself a rubber mallet like so. And you can just tap on the crank arms there, but should be good on there at this point. Okay. And then let me show you what the other side looks like. I'm going to spin this guy around. Spun around anyways. And there you go. This is what the other side of the spindle will look like. So at this point we want to take our crank arm. I'm not worried about our chain right now. And like on your mount or your road bike crank arms, you have this little locking pin here, and that pushes in, has a little notched piece there that catches right here. Okay, so that has to make sure it's in enough position. So you can do it one of two ways. Take that piece up and get a little Allen wrench, like so, like a tiny Allen wrench, and you can get it in there and hook it in there. Pull that up. Or you can just loosen the Allen keys. So we got our Allen set here. We're going to torque it. It says here that it needs to be torqued from 12 to 14 newton meters. We're going to do that once we actually get it fully on. The Allen heads for this should be 5 millimeters, I believe. Yes. Like it. So we're going to pull out our Allen head key here. And unback these Allen heads off just a little bit before we start. I'm going to grab one of the smaller Allen heads. I can get this thing up. Offside. So this locking pin should be just like so, right there. I mean, just as long as it's got a little part of it notched out, that's all you want. Okay. So then the crank arm is going to go on the opposite way. You actually have a hole inside there. And it is keyed. You can't really go the opposite way. And you don't want to tighten the bolts down first, okay? So the first thing you actually want to do is you want to set the bearings with this guy here. So and as you can see, this piece won't actually go in. So actually, let me zoom in so I can show you. So by the looks of it, we don't really need the spacers. We're most definitely not going to need spacers. So we're going to have to take the spacers out and reinstall this guy. I'll show you here. So as you can see right there, this is the crank arm spindle. And this is the actual crank arm itself, and it's not actually going all the way in. This is supposed to be far enough that these threads here will go in there and actually connect, and they're not going to actually make the connection there. Okay, and so that's why your mallet off. Knock that off right there. Take and put the crank arm there, like so. Knock this guy off. Okay. And oh, if you can see here, see that O-ring? I want to make sure that that goes back down all the way. Okay. Let me set up, and we're going to finish off the rest of this guy here.